Before this starts, I would like to say this real quick. If you are wondering if I'm using a voice filter, no. And I will leave a link to a video proving that I am not using a voice filter. After you watch the video and you still say that my voice is fake and I'm using a voice filter, hey, you're getting blocked. Anyway, enjoy the content. Witness the fight that is Renegade X. You are now listening to another episode of the Black Nerd Talk. What is good? What is good? This is Renegade X, and welcome back to another episode of the Black Nerd Talk. Your humble host, Renegade X, will talk about things pertaining to gaming, just basically nerd talk. But this podcast episode, I will be talking about two things: Dynasty Warriors Origins and DLC 17 of Xenoverse 2. Let's go ahead and start off with the first topic, Dynasty Warriors Origins. And disclaimer, I will be making jokes and swearing because I want to put more me on here. I want to be authentic. I'm tired of this stupid censorship stuff. If they don't like me for being me, then so be it. But I want to laugh, joke around, and have fun, while at the same time, give it knowledge and my opinion and stuff. Alright, so from the trailer, if you guys have seen it, it looks like it takes stuff from Storm. Like the strategy and all the soldiers running at each other. The game looks real good. I like how it takes some inspiration from Wolong's graphics. I like the realistic, dark atmosphere. And it looks like we will be creating our own character. Some people say it's a spin-off. This game is basically Dynasty Warriors 5 Destiny mode. It is mixing with Wolong. And the characters that I seen in the trailer were Ching Pu, Zhao Zhao, Guan Yu, Dian Wei, Li Dian, Zhou Yu, Chen Gong, Yuijin, excuse me. Lu Bu, of course, since they show him riding red hair. Now, people on Reddit have taken pictures of these characters in the trailer, and a majority of the characters are wielding different weapons than what they normally have. Ching Pu was wielding just a single spear, not the double Vogue from Nan. Li Dian had his crescent blade, clone weapon he had in Nan. Zhou Yu was wielding a staff. Chen Gong had the warfare. Yuijin had the dragon spear, and Dian Wei had the double Vogue. But since that is just the announcement trailer, things could change, and most of the characters I've listed were using their Dynasty Warriors 9 design, except for the looks of it, Lu Bu and Zhao Zhao. Lu Bu in Dynasty Warriors 9 wore all gold, which in my opinion does not fit him. from the Dynasty Warriors Origins trailer, it looks like he's kinda going back to his black and red outfit that he sported in the older games. And as for Zhao Zhao, it is weird seeing him without his facial hair. But hopefully they will have the aging system for the characters in the game, like how in Samurai Warrior Spirit of Sonata, they had Yukimura get older, and when he got older, his moveset got buffed too. That's another thing I would like to see in if we're able to play other characters in this game. If not, I hope they do this in Dynasty Warriors 10. As for the movesets that were shown in the trailer, they are a lot more flashier and I like that. And we finally get to have hand-to-hand combat, martial arts. We get to have smaller gauntlets, as shown in the trailer of the nameless hero beating that dude up, smacking him in the face, giving him the bust uppercut. No, I'm just kidding, he didn't uppercut him, no. But he was beating the shit out of him. And if the characters shown in the trailer, if some of these characters are getting redesigns, the characters that I want to redesign, depending how far the story goes, I want the story of Dynasty Warriors Origins to go all the way to the follow shoot. Because in the old games, it would end at Wuzong Plains. That would be the final battle. Cause I seen in the trailer you fought against basically all the factions, like you fight Yellow Turbans, you win Shao's army. You fight Wu, Shu, and Wei. Now for the characters that I want redesigned, Zhu Chu. This man in Dynasty Warriors has been portrayed as a human version of Fat Boo from Dragonball Z. And his personality is him being a goofball. I've read his historical information. Zhu Chu is supposed to be big and intimidating. In the Battle of Tong Gate, when Ma Chao and Han Sui met with Zhao Zhao in a room, Ma Chao was plotting to capture Zhao Zhao at that moment. But he didn't because Zhu Chu was standing in the room, glaring at him. That's how intimidating he's supposed to be. And also, there was another instance to where it's like two people were gonna assassinate him or something, assassinate Zhao Zhao. But they didn't want to do it until Zhu Chu fell asleep. But Zhu Chu didn't fall asleep because he felt an uneasiness in the air. He eventually found out the intentions of those two assassins and he basically deleted them. But yes, Zhu Chu needs to be redesigned to be more intimidating because the way that he is now is not a good look, especially if Dynasty Warriors Origins is going to take a more darker and serious tone. Because we don't need a character that's like Fat Boo like they're talking about. Can't continue fighting on an empty stomach. No, this man needs to be serious, I'm telling you. Like take some inspiration from his Wolong design. That's what they need to do. Number 2 on my list, Zhang He. Zhang He in Dynasty Warriors, ever since when he was introduced, has been this effeminate man with claws. He is alright in the earlier games, until Dynasty Warriors 6, in which a majority of characters had their downfall in. From that point onward, he just became obsessed with beauty, and they made him even more effeminate. When I read his historical information, Zhang He was a great general. He was even feared by Zhuge Liang and Sima Yi. Sima Yi sent Zhang He on a self-deletion mission, but Zhang He knew that, or Zhang He, whatever you want to pronounce his name, he knew that, but still went out and followed orders. Zhang He even, I think he did a little strategy in the battle of Jai Ting when Ma Su didn't listen to Zhuge Liang's orders. They need to redesign Zhang He because he was not a man in a skirt, using claws, talking about beauty all the time. And I know what some people are gonna say. Well, you know, it's just a video game, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. That is true. But I would like to see some more historical things in the game though. Because the way that they have him right now it's really disrespectful, if anything. So what they need to do is, do not make him effeminate. Make him look more like a man, please. Give him some facial hair or something. And change up the animations of his claw moveset. Now I'm gonna give a good example of a claw moveset. Lao Kao Long from Yakuza 3. They need to take inspiration from that and then use some of the moveset animations from Zhang He and Dynasty Warriors in the older games. Mix it together, make the animations more masculine or neutral. Like a martial artist like thing, but at the same time unleashing fast and furious swipes. And then boom, Zhang He would be so much better. Number 3, the Cryo Twins. They've been needing a revamp, a redesign for years. Because from what I saw in the wiki, they're supposed to be teenagers, but they look like little girls. And it has gotten so bad, even the characters in game have noticed this. Like, to fix them, just make them adults, please. That's all you gotta do, make them mature adults. Age them up, please. And give them some movesets that are feminine and not this little girl stuff. Because I cringe when I see these two characters. Number 4, Sima Zhao. Alright, yes, I do have a few issues with him. If Dynasty Warriors Origins is gonna go that far and put the Sima brothers in there. One of my issues with Sima Zhao is he doesn't look like a Dynasty Warriors character. These are Chinese people in the game. Sima Zhao looks like a Final Fantasy character currently. So they need to change up his design so he looks more like he fits in the game. Take some inspiration from his Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13. Another issue I have with him is that they made him this lazy character that doesn't want to take responsibility for anything, does not want to be in a position of leadership. But historically, and this is also from what I heard, he was basically Zhao Zhao 2.0, from what I heard. And when I did some research about his historical information, I figured out what happened to Wang Yi historically. So it's that one battle, I think it's called Dong Xing, or the Battle of the East Gates, is what it's called in Dynasty Warriors 8. Historically, what happened is the Wei or Jin soldiers at that time, they had the advantage in numbers. They got so overconfident, they got drunk. And then that's when the Wu soldiers beat them because they were drunk. And Sima Zhao was basically upset about that, and essentially tried to blame Wang Yi for it, but Wang Yi said, "But you are a leader. This really is your responsibility." But Sima Zhao got mad at her for saying that and had her executed. I was like, damn, this boy is cold-blooded. But I remember in Dynasty Warriors 7, he started to develop into a more mature, darker personality side. But they got rid of that when they introduced Jiang Chong to represent that. To be honest, I don't like that. I would rather Sima Zhao still mature and still have that darker side in a way. They could have just portrayed it as Jiang Chong having a influence on him. But Sima Zhao needs a redesign and a revamp, please. Number 5, Yuan Shao. After Dynasty Warriors 6 came around, and that point on, Yuan Shao had become comedic relief. This man in the old games used to be serious. He did have his charm, his quirk, but it wasn't as bad as it is currently. And I heard in Dynasty Warriors 9 he's a little bit better. They toned down on the comedic relief. In Dynasty Warriors 5, when Wen Chao and Ya Liang got slain by Guan Yu, actually got angry that they got slain. And he said Zhao Zhao will pay for this, essentially. When Zhao Zhao burns down Wu Chao, the supply line, this line right here from Yuan Shao: "Zhao Zhao, you pretentious fool." That is the Yuan Shao we need back. And I don't know how to feel about the extension blade. It's good, but it lacks in power. They need to buff that weapon if they're bringing it in Origins. But they will have to change up the animations to look more serious too. Number 6, Dong Zhuo. Ooh-wee. This character desperately needs it. Like I said, ever since Dynasty Warriors 6, a majority of characters have just fallen down. Dong Zhuo used to be this serious tyrant, even though he had a little, comedic in him. But it got worse. This man currently looks like a meatball with the personality of a old school Looney Tunes character. An old school villain. 1980s villain. And then he lost his sword, but traded it for the flail and sometimes bombs. Historically, this man was literally evil itself. Used manipulation to gain power. He was feared. This man was truly a villain. So much that he had a coalition against him. That doesn't make any sense why 6 and so on, why he looks and acts the way that he looks and acts. Now I'ma tell y'all a game that did Dongswell some justice. Whoa long. That man looks like a whole pimp in that game. He lost some weight. The man got all fur on his jacket, and he got a gold headband around him. He legit looks intimidating in that game. He is serious in that game. Like, I swear. Like, you do not want to say nothing wrong in front of him. You didn't want to insult him. Cause he raised that hand with the rings. He said, boy, I will slap the taste out your mouth if you say something wrong. I am the mighty Dongswell. But I will slap fire out your ass, boy. Oh, Pimp Dongswell, man, I'm telling you. But he has an awesome design of long though. Again, take inspiration from his old design. Like Dynasty Warriors 4 and 5, and mix it with his long design. And change up his personality to where he's more serious. And another thing I want to say is, I hope there is an aging system for the characters. Cause I hope Zhao Zhao's is not gonna be beardless the whole time. And the characters that they have looking anime AF, like Zahuba, he desperately needs the aging system. Again, that's another character that needs a redesign, period. I have a whole list of characters that need redesigns, but we'll be here all day. And this is just about Dynasty Warriors Origins, because the reason they need the aging system and redesigns too is because these characters have children. Is that their children are generics. Zahuba is a great example because in Dynasty Warriors 7, a soldier tells the player that Zahuba has children. Around that time, Zahuba is supposed to be an old man. Don't make no sense why his children look older than him.
Bruh.
Zahuba's children just popped out the womb like, hey pops, I'm ready for war. Where they at though? Came out the womb with a spear, a set of armor, and a horse. Just ready. Zahuba's children look like they graduated before he did. Bruh, Zahuba's children in that game have facial hair. Meanwhile, Zahuba, still baby face, ain't got no peach fuzz. Still talking in that whiny voice.
Maybe adapt to fleeing, but that doesn't mean I like it.
But that's my little rant on that. Another thing I would like to see is them delving more into the elements. So we know for a long time that elements play a role in Dynasty Warriors. Slash, wind, fire, ice, thunder, poison. Now I will admit, Dynasty Warriors not Empires put a great emphasis on the elements because of the gem customization. I don't know which element was the strongest, but they did have their usage. My favorite was fire, thunder, and ice. Slash is just more damage. The wind, it would, in non-empires, it would send out a shockwave and then send it back in instead of making small tornadoes when you attacked. I think it's supposed to increase your range. I know it does that in the old games, 7 specifically. When you had wind, it would do more damage and increase your range on the weapons. In 8 Empires, fire hardly did anything because it didn't last that long. Shock was the strongest, or thunder was the strongest. But there were 2 different attributes. There was induction, which procced more often. Then there was thunder, which would proc every now and then, but it would stun the enemy too. Ice is ice, just keep the enemy frozen. Poison was meh, just damage over time pretty much. And also, depending on the element we have on, let the weapons have a visualization of the elements we have on our weapons. If we have fire, our weapon would have a fire over it. For example, if I'm using a sword and I have fire as my main element or something, the blade of the sword would be on fire, like you would see the embers and everything. Or if I'm using a spear and I have shock or thunder as my element, the tip of the spear will have electricity surrounding it, or the whole spear itself. So things like that will be good. And another thing I would like to see in Dynasty Warriors Origins: strategies and formations. Now in war, formations are a huge part of war. And a good example of game using formations constantly is Samurai Warriors, specifically the Empire's installments. Now I forgot the name of the formations, but the attack one, of course, increases attack. The defense one increases defense, but has slight health regen. The speed one increases speed, but also your attack speed as well. I would love to see the formations play a big part in Dynasty Warriors Origins. Because considering how big the armies are now since it's on PlayStation 5, it legit feels like a war. All these soldiers running at each other, instead of, just a small group of people just running to capture a base. It's a full-scale war now, and I like it. Now there is a Dynasty Warriors game that does use the formations, but considering the state of that game and how buggy it is, and from my experience, the formations are hardly used. In Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, you have the scale formation, which increases your attack. Well, not just yours, but everyone's attack. The defensive one is called wing formation, and the speed one is called snake formation. A majority of the characters have formations, but they don't use them, from my experience. If so, it is rarely used. Zhao has 2 formations, scale and snake by default, but I have never seen him use it as an AI. Never. And I play on the PlayStation 4 version. Zhao P has snake formation. I've never seen him use it. Zhou Tai has wing formation. Never seen him use it. Guan Yu has scale formation. I only seen him use it once. Please make formations a stable thing in Dynasty Warriors. Alright, the next thing that I want to see is different unit types. So far what was shown have been the infantry units, archers, and cavalry. I would like to see The sorcerer units returned, the bombards, venom soldiers returned, and etc. Because Dynasty Warriors, not Empires, had given us these unit types we could have. The ones I just named, and there were, I think they were like capture soldiers, panda units, tigers. You could have 2 tigers fight with you, a panda fight with you, 2 bears to fight with you, then etc. So pretty interesting idea. But what I didn't like is the affinity system in non-empires. I never liked the affinity system since 8 Empires. That never should have been a thing. And I pray that this game does not have no affinity system like that. Please, tired of this rock, paper, scissors thing. Like, imagine if you have sorcerer troops with you as a unit. They could throw fire, ice, electricity, and sometimes they could heal you. That would be nice. As for infantry, I guess they would do what they did in like 9 in a way, just attack with you, everything like that. Archers, pretty much self-explanatory. Fire arrows at the enemy from afar. You can command them to shoot a certain area. Another thing that I want to see is good customization. Dynasty Warriors, not Empires, had limited the customization. It was bad too. We couldn't change our character's weight. We didn't have a voice pitch changer. We only had pre-selected voices. The armor and clothing options were very limited. We need better customization and more stuff, please. Like, give us more armor with the fur around it, because that's my favorite type of armor right there. Having more of the realistic armor. And for Pete's sake, make it look like armor. Don't make it look like a cheap plastic costume from Party City. Because that's what the armor looks like in 9 to me. And for the female characters, the female avatars, please give them good clothing that fits for women. Not this waifu stuff that has been implemented for a long time, please. Because ain't no way the women warriors of that time had Hello Kitty, sneakers, a shirt, shorts, and a hat to match going out in war during that time. That ain't happening, Captain. Not happening. Give me some real stuff, please. Armor with the fur and everything. Thank you very much. Let this game have co-op and online co-op, please. This game looks like the perfect game to have there. I would like to play with my friends. I would like to play with other players in Dynasty Warriors Origins and see what other character creations are out there. And here is the last and final thing that I want in Dynasty Warriors Origins is to be able to have the decision to branch away from the historical route. For example, the hypotheticals in Dynasty Warriors 8. For example, if you did something in Wu's story to keep Sun Jian alive, he will be alive for the whole story from that point on. I'm talking about something like that. Or when the Yellow Turban Rebellion is happening, you can choose to either stay with the coalition army that's fighting against the Yellow Turbans, or you can defect from the coalition and join the Yellow Turbans and defeat He-Jin and his army, and then it just continues on from there. I would like to do stuff like that because that would add a bunch of replayability to the game. Hey, and replayability is an important part of a game, to be able to mix things up or not knowing what's gonna happen next. But that's all I gotta say about Dynasty Warriors Origins. We do not have too much information for now. We are just gonna have to let time do his thing until they reveal more information to us. I pray that Dynasty Warriors Origins is good though, because of these recent installments have been, they could have been better. Omega Force, you cannot afford, well, Omega and Koei, you cannot afford to mess up Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, and Warriors Orochi anymore. You have to win back your fan base. And I'm not an expert of this or anything like that, but a smart business move right now since you announced this, and this may be wishful thinking, is to update the recent installments. Update Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends. Fix the bugs in that game. Update Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. Fix the bugs in that game. Because 8 Empires was originally a PS3 game, but when they ported it, and you guys know how it is with ports, things tend to break when you port things over, especially if you do not check to see what has been broken. I don't know what they can do for Dynasty Warriors now, cause I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole. Dynasty Warriors not Empires, that game needs to be updated. Samurai Warriors 4, that game needs to be updated, especially if it got released on Steam, because there is a issue that has not been fixed in Samurai Warriors 4. The online co-op bug to where you cannot play online co-op with anyone, only very few stages. It worked fine on the PS3, but when they ported it, something broke. Update Samurai Warriors 4 Empires to have online co-op, fix the bugs on there, make some adjustments to the games. Samurai Warriors 5, I don't know what they could do with that game, to be honest with you. I'm not really gonna touch that game neither. But the games, and update Warriors Orochi 3, fix the bugs on there. Same with Warriors Orochi 4, fix the bugs on there or whatever. But what I have listed, those games need updates to give us a breath of fresh air. Number 1, do some stuff to the games, change it up a little bit, something. That way, some people will come back to the game. Number 1. Number 2, if they see that these games are working real well, you will have more people buying the games. Number 3, we will have something to hold us until Dynasty Warriors Origins comes out. That would be a smart business move in my opinion. But hey, I'm just one man. Time to move on to the second topic. DLC 17 of Xenoverse 2. The Future Saga Chapter 1. This DLC pack has Z Broly Restrained, Dragonball Super Android 18 and Videl, Ultra Super Villain, Rose Goku Black, and God Vegeta. And as of currently, this DLC is $20. Alright, so let me talk about the characters. Number 1, Z Burler Restrained. This man is an absolute powerhouse. He's a monster. Because his combos, they have infinite combo potential because you can keep knocking them down. He also has his stomp, which you could just use that to be disrespectful. I really wouldn't use that in the combo like that because the AI tends to avoid it and players can avoid it too. But his moves, well, hold on, before I go into that, let me explain his gimmick. So of course he starts off in base form. You know, he's pretty decent, moves do decent, but he really is a monster when he transforms. His transformation it is slow because he does the walk that he does in the movie while screaming Kakarot. So you gotta find a very good time to use it. After he transforms, he gains more key bars. And his Super Soul activates to where he gains more attack power. And his moves also power up too, while gaining access to a new move called Gigantic Explosion. So his moves in this DLC are Eraser Bomb, which he throws a key blast. In base form, it just knocks the opponent away or makes him spin around in the air. Powered up, when he throws it, it makes this huge explosion that does multiple hits. And you can continue your combo off of this. You can step cancel after the attack hits. That's one of his infinite combo potentials, and it does a lot of damage. You have Gigantic Cluster, which is best used when you knock the opponent down, the enemy, to the ground. You'll just throw a bunch of key blasts. It's basically a better version of KO's attack. And Gigantic Explosion. This has got to be one of the strongest moves in the game. This move takes 6 bars of ki to activate, but it does a lot of damage. So Broly, that character right there, that's a good character to use. He's one of my favorites to use in the DLC, to be honest with you. Second character, in Dragonball Super 18. Her attack speed is very fast, she does decent damage, has a good back hit, has a good grab. Her grab is the Earthling's grab for some reason. And her moves are Steel Mirage, which she flies in swiftly, disappears, appears behind you, and throws a Destructo Disc. So it's kinda like a command grab. Pendulum Bullet. She basically, and this is her ultimate by the way, she throws a pink key blast. You can hold the button and it'll cost her more ki to do more damage. She will continuously hit the key blast back and forth until she throws one giant key blast. Pretty decent move. And variable snipe shot, so it has 3 different animations. You got the regular one to where she just shoots out the beam. Then you got an animation where she jumps back and shoots the beam. Then there's the fully charged one. When you hit the opponent away, you can teleport behind them while unleashing a beam attack. She used both her hands to unleash the beam attack. Dragonball Super 18 is a pretty good character. Kinda feels like I'm playing her Tenkaichi variation, cause how fast she attacks and all that. Dragon Ball Super Videl. This is an upgraded Videl. I just don't like the fact that she doesn't really have key attacks like that, but she's more of a head-to-hand fighter, a strike character. She has a whole bunch of knockdowns. Much faster. Has very good damage. And I think one of her combos are invanishable. So Swallow Shot is just an android kick except you can charge it. Justice Drive is... it's like her version of Jiren's Power Rush. Takes 4 bars of ki, but it does some damage and it sends the enemy flying after that final punch. And I forgot the name of that ki blast move. I think it's called Burning Shot. She throws a small energy blast. Depending how much time you charge it, it can go further and last a long time. And then there's Seagull combination where she does combination of punches and she does a kick at the end. If you press triangle on PlayStation, she can do an unblockable kick that's similar to Gohan's kick move. Except hers is blockable though. But she is a very solid character. Makes me wish that she had a custom variant. Cause if she did, ooh wee. Man. You can combo Seagull combination into Justice Drive and other moves, so Seagull combination is a good move. I'll definitely recommend it. Next character on the list, Ultra Super Villain Rose Goku Black. He has the flashiest moveset out of all the characters in this DLC. Because he will knock the enemy up, down, left, right, and he attacks so quickly too, it's kinda hard to keep up. Well, I'm glad that he has his scythe finally in his combos. So his skills are Divine Spear, which he shoots a energy blast. It will stagger the opponent to open them up for more combos. You have Crimson Edge, to where he will use his scythe, fly into the enemy, and hit them twice. And if you hold the control stick, he will spin his scythe, which deflects ki blast. I don't know about super attacks. I have to test that. You have Divine Ray Bomb. What he does, he pulls out his scythe, teleports behind the opponent, slashes them away, teleports, creates a ball of energy, and throws it at the enemy while screaming, "Be gone from this world!" And then once the energy blast blows up, he then proceeds to laugh. The more I started using him, the more I started to like using him. I don't know if he's gonna be my second or third favorite from this DLC. He plays like a alternative version of Fuse Zamasu. But that Divine Spear, that is a very strong move. Takes 2 bars of ki, staggers them, and does a lot of damage. Last but not least, Ultra Super Villain God Vegeta. It's another solid character. This man is a powerhouse, of course, and he has that Super Saiyan God mechanic where it does that little little click noise to do more damage and stuff. At first his moveset was tricky because I was trying to find his combo cancels. He has a combo cancel for his 5 square and triangle. His skills are Wild Stinger, which he kicks the enemy away. Literally, when you can knock him away and then do Wild Stinger, and it will kick them, dragging them along the air. Now, what I like to say when I use this move, I like to say,
Looking like someone done kicked you in your chest.
I love that move. And you can use another move after Wild Stinger. Big Bang Knuckle. He shoots a series of ki blasts, then he charges forward with a ki infused punch. This move goes very well with Wild Stinger. And his ultimate is Final Rampage, to where he will knock you away. You can use this move after a knockback as well. Knock them away, teleports behind them, sledgehammers them down to the ground, does a final flash, and finishes the enemy off with a strong punch to the ground. A very Vegeta-like move, and that move cost 5 bars a ki. All his other moves, except for Prominence Flash, which cost 3 bars a ki, cost 1 bar of ki. So this is a very solid character though. I don't like how his triangle has little to no reach. You have to be extremely close to hit the enemy with it. And that's a weakness that Vegeta has in Xenoverse. He doesn't have that much reach, for some reason. But meanwhile, Goku with his little helicopter legs attack, talking about,
It isn't over yet.
you can hit you from across the map with that. You could back up away from that and it will still hit you. But other than that, the characters in the DLC are good, their skills are good. The parallel quest, just parallel quest. But the best parallel quest that I like from the DLC is PQ-174, where you were in the tournament stage, basically fighting the mentors of Carton City. But it's not the same order, it's different. Once you get past the Gohans, you don't know who you're fighting against next, and I like that. And you can do that PQ by yourself. What I want in future PQs is the ability to do it by yourself. No ally in the PQs, no preset allies. You have the option to do it solo, just you, against the enemies. We need more parallel quests like that, and I would like the order of the enemies to be randomized to add replayability. As for the level cap increase, is going to be tedious, but I'm glad the levels are going up. But they removed the option to buy TP medals.
Bruh. What?
So we have to grind out the TP medals now. And especially if you're like me and you have all the character slots filled out. Oh boy, it's gonna take a long time. And the super TP medals have not been added yet. But I pray that they put another way to level up. An easier way to level up, because that boy, Tosak, whatever his name is, Tosu, to make it with Topo's mustache or whatever, Master Roshi's mustache. That boy has went up in price. $240 for a level up. Yikes. And also in this update, the servers are messed up, so it's kinda hard to get online matches and stuff like that. A majority of people are barely able to do the raid and have missed out on raid rewards and TP medals that could be helping us level up. Hopefully Bandai will get on that ASAP. And as for the Future Saga story, it's pretty decent. The first part was just, and this is no spoilers by the way, just a retelling of something that has happened before. Just small little twist in it. Now, the second part, that was the most unique. The third part, it was a good balance. Kinda retelling, but it has some twist in it. But the Ultra Supervillain form is interesting. I'm interested in seeing what the next chapters are gonna be like. Which characters are we going to be getting in the future of Xenoverse 2? And another thing in this update, this update has broken the AI. If I remember correctly from a Reddit post, it said the AI will target players and people that have the most key energy. So they're gonna be switching to you as the player more often, and it is annoying, trust me. The AI spam their ults more now too. Their behavior is real weird. The characters that you don't expect to run away and shoot key blasts from far away, they do that. Vegeta, I've seen Broly do it. I've seen Beerus do it. I'm like, aren't you guys aggressive though? Y'all supposed to be charging at me, trying to break my stamina and etc. But I've seen an instance to where Goldo kept being aggressive, trying to square up to me like he's Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I said, Goldo, you're the one that's supposed to be running away. It's just, this update they did good things, but it's also broken some stuff too. That needs to be fixed ASAP. And depending on your skill level, I would suggest running a counter in all your builds. Especially if you're gonna be fighting Blue Goku. Especially for him. Ugh. But that is all I gotta say about DLC 17. I recommend buying the DLC, but if you do not want to pay the $20, which I completely understand, you can wait until the price drops, cause Xenoverse 2 stuff goes on sale often. But that is all I gotta say. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Black Nerd Talk. Be sure to check out my socials in the description or comment section below. Have a blessed day or night. I'll see y'all next time.